Hey guys, Dr. Rob here, and I wanted to welcome you down to my health corner where today we're going to talk about a very important topic, prediabetes, because almost 100 million Americans have prediabetes. That's 1 in 3 people. And over 80% of the people that have prediabetes have no idea that they have it. So look around, find 3 people in front of you. One of them has prediabetes, and they probably have no idea they have it. So today's video, I'm going to teach you 10 warning signs to be able to identify very easily if you might be suffering from prediabetes. And then I'm going to give you 5 things you could do to help yourself if you have these warning signs or you have prediabetes. Now, before I get into the information, if along this journal of pre-diabetic info, you find that you like this information, please hit the like button. And if you want to hang out with me more, then subscribe. And if you'd like to know when I release these videos, which is like every Thursday typically, then please hit the notifications bell so you can be notified. First off, what are some signs and symptoms? What are 10 signs and symptoms that would help you be able to identify if you or someone you love has prediabetes? Well, the first one is blurry vision. Now, I don't mean that your vision is blurry because you need glasses. I mean, sometimes it gets a little blurry. And the reason why that is when the sugar levels rise in your blood, it can actually affect your optic nerve and that can affect your vision. The second is tingling in your fingertips, in your fingers, or in your lower extremities or feet. The reason why that is as sugar rises in your bloodstream, that sugar is actually a bit acidic and can settle in the lower extremities. Like, our hands hang down, right? So it can settle as our hands hang down and it could settle in your lower feet, irritating the nerves in those areas, which then creates the numbness and tingling. The next thing that can happen is when there's too much sugar in your blood, it can stimulate a cell in the skin called a melanocyte. And this is the cell that gives you pigment. It makes your skin darker. It particularly will stimulate those cells around the back of the neck. So you'll get a darkening around the back of the neck, under the neck, around the armpits, or in the groin area. Now, if you have sugar cravings, you could potentially be pre-diabetic, but that kind of doesn't make much sense, right? It's like if there's plenty of sugar in my blood, why would I crave it? The reason why you crave it is because the sugar is in your blood and it's not in your cell. So your cell is sugar hungry. There's plenty of sugar in your blood, but not in your cell. So your cell starts to release messages into your bloodstream that go to your brain and tell your brain, eat some sugar because we don't have any. Problem is not that there's not enough sugar in the blood. The problem is that there's not enough sugar in the cell. And in a few minutes, I'm going to teach you what you can do to get that sugar from the blood into your cell. The next symptom would be belly fat. The next one would be a waist size of 40 or higher in a man, or 35 inches or higher in a woman. Dark velvety skin in the knuckles or really anywhere in your body. PCOS, which is known as polycystic ovarian syndrome, can also be a sign that you have prediabetes. So if you have PCOS, get yourself checked. Check your insulin levels, your fasting insulin, your fasting blood sugar, and your hemoglobin A1C. And the last one is excessive thirst. Now, the reason why some people that are pre-diabetic get more thirsty than they used to be is because of the sugar in their blood. There's too much sugar in their blood, so their body wants to try to push the sugar out through the kidneys, which causes them to then crave water. And then start drinking water and water and water in the hopes that the body will push the sugar that's in the blood out of the blood through the kidneys, through the urine. This is actually very stressful on the kidneys and is why some people who move from prediabetes to diabetes can actually start to develop kidney problems, which then transitions into blood pressure problems, so on and so forth. Okay, so here's 5 things that you can do to help if you have a lot of these prediabetes symptoms or you definitely have prediabetes. First thing is skip breakfast. What? I thought breakfast was the most important meal of the day, Dr. Rob. Well, not really. Your first meal is probably one of the most important meals of the day, but your first meal doesn't have to be at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or 10 a.m. Actually, my first meal is usually not until somewhere between 12 and 2 in the afternoon. That's right. What does that do? Well, it causes your body to go without food longer, which pushes your blood sugar down, and it allows your body to start using your sugar that's stored in your muscles and in your liver. Eventually, your body will actually start to burn fat and you'll lose weight, which is really healthy. Now, this type of eating approach is called intermittent fasting. So for pre-diabetics, it's great if you guys would eat only 8 hours a day and then fast the other 16. Like some pre-diabetics could start their first meal at 10 and have their last meal complete by 6, and that would be great. Other guys that want to get more advanced, they can start their first meal at 12 and be done eating by 6, which is just 6 hours of eating and actually 18 hours of fasting. Either one is good, but starting with doing at least a 16-hour a day fast every single day is a great thing to do if you're having these prediabetes symptoms. Second thing you could do is after you're done eating a meal, especially dinner, go for a 15-minute walk. Now, why? Well, the research shows if you walk after a meal, it actually lowers your blood sugar because as you're walking, as you're moving your body actually starts to burn the sugar that's in your blood. Well, really, it causes the sugar that's in your blood to be pulled into your cells for energy. So this lowers your blood sugar. The most important meal to walk after is dinner. And the reason why it's usually after dinner that we're the least active. That's usually when people come home and they're like, okay, I'm done eating. I got this big full belly. Let me go sit on the couch, watch TV, and fall asleep, which is actually the worst thing that you can do with prediabetes. Because if you're not moving and you're actually starting to sleep or nap on the couch, all of that sugar just builds and accumulates in the blood and makes your condition worse. The next thing you could do is add fiber to your meals. Fiber and fats in your meals actually will slow the absorption of sugar. It actually slows the absorption of everything that you're eating. So it's good to have fats and it's good to have fiber in your meals. You want about 35 grams of fiber per day in your diet. And if you can, and you are pre-diabetic, moving more towards a lower carbohydrate diet is typically better. I'm not saying a no carbohydrate diet. Many people do great on a healthy ketogenic diet. Some people don't do so well. If you can at least reduce your carbs, that's great. Now, people who really shouldn't intermittent fast and have to be very cautious with a ketogenic type diet are people with adrenal fatigue. You'll know if you have adrenal fatigue because you have those symptoms. You have anxiety, depression, insomnia. You wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning. So for those type cases, you do want to be cautious with lowering your carbohydrates too much, as in like a ketogenic diet, when really only about 5% of your food intake is from carbohydrates, or 5% of your caloric intake rather is from carbohydrates. And you also want to be careful intermittent fasting if you have severe adrenal fatigue. So the fifth thing that you could do is drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Why? Well, much like the person that has prediabetes, that has excessive thirst, their body is naturally trying to flush that sugar from your system. Well, drinking about half your body weight in ounces of water, and I'll give you an example of what that is in just a second, but doing that does help to flush the excess sugar from your bloodstream. The other thing it does is the water occupies space throughout your whole intestinal tract. For some people, this can lower your cravings for food and can lower your overall hunger, which means less food intake, healthier, more balanced blood sugars. Now, an example of drinking half your body weight in ounces of water would simply be if you weighed 200 pounds, you have 100 ounces of water per day, which would be 10-ounce glasses. If you're a water bottle drinker, which I don't recommend because they're very high in phthalates and other toxins, but if you are, that would be somewhere around 7 or 8 water bottles, depending upon the size of the water bottle you're doing. And you could work this math out for any body weight. So another example of this would be if you're 150 pounds, you would have about half of that, which is around 75 ounces of water, which would, in the 16-ounce water bottle world, be roughly about 5 water bottles. So I hope this information helped you. If you guys need some additional help, please look at the link below. I have a free replay webinar running out there for you guys, as well as another webinar that you could sign up for. That's next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, one of these Tuesdays. There's also lots of other free information I have down there. And if you really want to get yourself healthy and are interested in additional health videos, then check this one out right here, because I think you're going to like it a lot. And I'll see you next time. Down at my health corner. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. See you guys.